Alright, is Wake of Fire back, chat? Let's find out if it's working properly. The retesting is also my duty as a beta tester as well. I always make sure to help them out with the beta testing in addition to anything else. I'm not just a tier list degenerate. I am a tier list degenerate, but I'm not just a tier list degenerate. Very important distinction. Alright, here we go, baby. Let's do this. Oh, we need a number for sure. Otherwise, they're gonna be totally lost. Alright, 13. Oh, man. It's looking good again. It's looking good. Okay, it's not shit anymore. 6,000 Wake of Fire damage, too. Looks like we got another top 10 mapper again. It's back, baby. The Wake of Danger is back. Right, make sure you're getting density numbers on the maps too, though. Make sure you're running the density calculation. So the way I think we're going to be doing the tiers is averaging out the top 2 maps for each build. So that it's not only cows, or it's just not only like one map. And we're averaging out monsters per minute per density. I think that's going to be the calculation number.
I can already tell that I'll be your best friend in this forsaken camp.
And that should give us a very solid appraisal. I mean, obviously there's potential error introduced, right? We're trying to like reduce variability though. Since it's me just doing it, you know, however my gameplay might suck is fairly standardized. Of course, then again, I might suck at some builds more than others, so that can produce some error, but overall, you know, as long as most people aren't seeing any major errors in my builds or gameplay, can usually get some pretty good numbers there. Density factors in a ton with some builds, but all builds, to be fair though. When you're mapping, density is always a plus on every build. Can be more on some builds than others potentially though. Wait, why am I frozen? Oh shit, did I forget I cannot be frozen? We're gonna have to fix that. That's bad. I give her an extra 5 seconds due to being frozen. Then I'll fix it. That's a Titanic and a half. Okay. Alright, what we got here? Damn, 39,486 minus 37,771 divided by 3. It's never 12 hours long. As a matter of fact, I've been able to get it down to like 3.5 hours now, typically.
What do you need?
I won't have to explain absolutely everything, but we'll have to explain how the methodology will be different, so we'll have to explain that in the beginning. 39,486 minus 37,771. 571. Yikes, dude. Yeah, you give her her previous power back, and this is what made her a top 10 mapper. Except I think I may have underrated her given that number. I don't know. Well, it's 120 density too, so let's keep that in mind. That's one of the higher densities we've been able to test here. That's why it's per density point, which I think is a much more accurate appraisal. Yeah, so getting its power back, it went up almost 200 monsters per minute. For density, not quite as high, because this one's more dense than the cow map we tested in the first version, but it's probably about the equivalent of a whole density increase, like 1 whole point. And that's just from like reverting its damage numbers back and giving it next hit delay again. Wild. Absolutely wild. Yeah, that's what it would be. It'd be 4.76 monsters per density point, probably, if you did it right. You have to divide it. Yeah, you're just dividing the density. The higher the density, obviously it's going to bring the number down a bit. Because, so, like, if, let's say you have a high monsters per minute, the higher the density is actually going to lower that number because, like, you're essentially now accounting for the fact that there's more density. Yeah, so that is the number. Yes, that's correct. That's the calculation we're going to use for the tier list, I think. Which I think is the most fair calculation you can possibly do. Period. Like, there's going to be some discrepancies there, but they're going to be pretty fair, I think. It's pretty even-handed. Definitely pretty even-handed stuff. Okay, because like density is always good in maps anyway, so you're not using a stat that you wouldn't want. Okay, our res sucks balls again, but we have like a bazillion health, so it's fine. Yeah, I guess we should test with those. It seems to be a pretty big, sizable increase. We'll use some res charms though, so we're not gonna go like 100% on those. Alright, so let's do the 2 more maps. So we should do Fledgathon maybe? Yeah, no, not Fledgathon. Because they fixed the immunities too. Theoretically, we should actually test Throne of Insanity. That should be one of the ones we're doing here. Should be. Throne and... well, maybe Fledgathon, I don't know. Throne, Fledgathon... maybe Pandemonium Citadel? I'm gonna do Throne. Can I show gear? Yeah, I was looking for... well, you know what's interesting though is despite the immunities, some of those other maps like Fledgathon still might be good though. We'll see though. We have 2 plagues. We're not even using the upper limit of gear, of course. So, I mean, we don't on any character. Some characters are affected by that fact more than others, which is why they'll get a handicap, but like, you know, builds that are very dependent on plus skill corruptions, for instance, that's always a problem, but yeah. Okay, no fire absorb. Check. 100 or higher density. Check. No maximum life. Check. No really bad mobs. Check. Alright. Here we go. Standardized testing in Kribus. Wake of Fire will be like 10k with max gear. Maybe. I don't know about that high, but... I mean, to be fair, like, I'm already at... 47 skills, and that's with fire LCs. No, you could probably hit about like 8k. I could see that being possible for sure. Yeah. Well, no, you only get the +5 though. The negative res doesn't do anything, so keep that in mind. Yeah, you could get about 8k. I could see that. I could see that. Okay, here we go. Actually, if it's Throne of Insanity, how would I do this? I'll get closer to testing the upper limit here. Damage wise. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna take a lot of damage, but the assassin has so much health though. Like, it's so easy to survive even on softcore with like no res. Res seems to be completely optional. Completely optional. I don't know about completely, but you know, it does tend to be a thing. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Bit more damage. Well, according to this, it's actually... Yeah, it's better to use one. Okay, yeah, no, I think we've optimized it. We're good. At least for, you know, what we can do. Okay, we're gonna start at 6 minutes, and we'll go. We'll test one more map after this as well. I think I'll test Fledgathon, not Pandemonium Citadel, because that one's almost never highest. Yeah, they brought back next hit delay. Next, individual next hit delay is back, so that mostly affects traps in terms of our testing, from what we've tested so far. So we're going to retest the traps. Throwing down the death sentries would just be a waste of time. Death sentries seems to be, every time I test it now, it seems to be good in groups, so for when the mobs have like a lot of health to where you're not insta-killing them all. And you can get like some extra damage from blowing up the bodies. Did anyone see what time we started? Was it 6 minutes or 6:30? 6:30. Okay. 6 flat. Roger. We retest Arctic already. Yes. This skill is so crazy. Yeah, well, it's nuts again for sure. Bonkers. Just think, chat. Just like all these builds we test, it's not even at max power. Alright, we're gonna divide by 3.25. Yeah, we hit 3 minutes and 15 seconds. So that's 40,627 minus 39,487 divided by 3.25. That's really good for that map, I think. I mean, cows are always gonna win on some of these builds, but that's how it goes. 351.
Hello.
It's only 351. I guess so. Density 111. That's good for 111. It's really high. High. 351 over 111 on throne. Okay, we're gonna do one more test though. I'm gonna do one more map, and then I'm gonna move on to another trap, which is Chain Lightning Sentry. And then we also have to retest Blade Sentinel. We're also gonna check that one out in Ubers as well. Retesting is very important. I'd like to reiterate. Very important indeed. Look at that, 3,000 health casual. Just casual 3,000 health.
Good afternoon.
On this mod, that is a ton. That is a ton of health. Just a brutal amount of health, man. I guess we could maybe improve our hit recovery a little bit. I thought of a couple small optimizations. Nothing that's gonna make or break it, but may as well. Tiny little optimizations for one more test. You mean 3.16 monsters per density? Not 316. That'd have to be yeah, anything over 3 monsters per density is pretty good. 3.07. Oh, okay, you just botched the whole calculation. I see what happened. That's alright. I got some people on the math. You guys help out a lot, thank you. Just more things I don't have to mess with all the time. You know, I have to mess with all so much already. We can't test that map because we're gonna be putting that negative hit recovery shit. Let's actually pay more attention to that if we can. So it doesn't happen. Okay, this is fun. Wow. That's a lot of density though. We're gonna get a really high number with this on monsters per minute most likely. Very possible. Math guy fell asleep on the calculator. Always. Alright, we'll go with 3 minutes. It's pretty straightforward, I'd say. Alright. Yeah, the block rate is really important. Oh yeah. I mean, despite the fact that there's supposed to be fire amines in here, I think it's still crushing this amount. Where is the fire amine anyway? Oh, it's those. Okay. That's not too bad if it's only the siege beasts, honestly. I mean, this is a really good map, so... I'd say immunities are actually pretty sparse in some of these maps. I mean, it will affect some builds, though, quite a bit. Yeah, it looks like you can do other maps now. What time did we start? 2 minutes or 3 minutes? I need to start remembering this a bit better. 3 minutes, okay. Yeah, that is annoying that those are fire immune though. A little bit. Time.